le mariage de Phil et Nina.
Wow.
Danke super. Ein herzlicher Willkommen an alle und vielen Dank, dass ihr und Sie zu der Hochzeit von Phil und Nina gekommen seid und sind. For the Dutch, u bent welcome. Danish, welkomen. And that's the test. Jamon Jak Ban Gamion, Jam Jo Jam Gio Ue.
Yes.
Phew. Not sure about the Vietnamese, but hope everybody gets
You did well.
Thank you, Phil and Nina, for giving me the opportunity to say a few words about Phil. And first of all, an apology for anyone who doesn't have good English or cannot understand some of the things I may talk about. It may get lost in translation somewhere. Now, there are a couple of envelopes on each table, or on a couple of chairs anyway. Don't open them just yet, but if perhaps you could open up envelope number 1, which will be relevant later. Leave number 2 for now, please. Always like to leave the best till last. But please feel free to open number 1. It'll be relevant in a few minutes, as you'll find out. While you're doing that, I thought that, just to mention, I thought I'd say a few words about Phil and the many qualities that Phil possesses, as I'm sure Nina already knows and appreciates by now. As many of you probably know, I had the privilege of living with Phil for some 4 years in Putney, which is in southwest London, a leafy suburb with lots of professionals living there. We lived in a sort of 2-bedroom flat, which was quite quiet, as you know. But anyway, I think to be honest, it was Phil's great qualities that probably meant that we stayed together there for 4 years. I mean, he's very tolerant, especially with me, very good-natured, very patient, understanding, thoroughly great guy, and easy to get along with. And in fact, we got on so well together, we became affectionately known as Putney Pufters. Just in case you were wondering, I was known as Putney. Yeah, you pass around number 1. Yeah, please do. Feel free to pass it round. As you'll find, Nina, Phil, like me, is a bit of a creature of habit, and it's true to say that we had the same food on the same day, the same menu every week. I hear rumours that he actually brought the menu with him to Zurich, and is still kind of living by it. I found that when I got married that the menu went out the window and was a massive improvement. I'm sure you're going to find the same if you haven't already. Another example of our sort of interesting life together and sort of creature of habit mentality was really what we did on a Saturday afternoon together. You can imagine, can't you, 2 young professionals in Putney, in their 20s, enjoying London and all it has to offer. So what were we doing? Well, the answer is no, we weren't at the pub. We weren't shopping. We weren't even at any football matches. Nor were we enjoying or seeing the great sights and culture that London has to offer. Instead, we had far more interesting and imaginative things to do. At 3 p.m. on a Saturday, we'd switch on the TV. And no, we weren't watching a programme. We'd actually go to the teletext or CFAX and watch the Premiership scores tick around every 2 or 3 minutes. Now, Phil's got great imagination, and he actually, to be honest, he improved the situation. He had the bright idea one day of getting Radio 5 live on, so he got his radio out and stuck it on top of the telly, so we could listen to a live radio commentary of a Premier League football match while still watching the scores tick around for 2 hours. And if the photo you've got in front of you is a picture of Phil enjoying himself out there with a remote control, watching on a Saturday afternoon the TV scores. So yeah, Very sad times indeed. No wonder Phil couldn't wait to move out of London to move to more interesting cities like Zurich. All I can say is thank God for Sky Sports. Over the years, I've also become aware of Phil's many other enduring qualities. He's always got a very positive outlook on life, always looks on the bright side. He's got his belief and his passions and his stoicism. I mean, something you'll obviously have to find in every Swindon Town supporter. He's had a lot of ups and downs, I can tell you. I think in terms of other sort of more unusual qualities that Phil possessed, he was an intrepid explorer, very resourceful, and he's very informative, but only at certain times, usually when he's had quite a lot to drink. And you may wonder what I mean when we say intrepid explorer. Well, he used to spend quite a lot of time exploring unusual parts of London. You might wonder what's unusual about that, but the kind of sort of flavour would be as follows. He'd go out to work colleagues on a Friday night, be absolutely hammered, get on the tube, train or bus or wherever he was, usually fall asleep, and end up at the last stop. Sometimes he was lucky and able to get back into London, other times he wasn't so lucky. And one particularly memorable occasion was, I think, 4 o'clock in the morning, I heard his buzzer go. And I eventually got to the buzzer and was like, I lost my key. It turned out the next day that, I think he rang virtually everybody in the block trying to get in. Nobody would let him in. But this particular occasion, I said to him, where the hell have you been? What's happened? And apparently he found himself in a railway siding in Sutton, in the pitch black, on a train which was just there for the night. He managed to somehow force his way out, walk along the tracks, and then managed to get over the barriers into Sutton town. And then, unusually for an accountant, he couldn't find any money to get a taxi. So, being very resourceful, he thumbed the lift back to Putney, and turned up, as I say, very late. So, anyway, the good news is I asked him all these questions after he'd had all these drinks. The next day, he had no recollection whatsoever of what the hell he'd done. So, top tip there, make sure you get the information out of him at the right opportunity. I'd say image is also something that Phil's very conscious of. He's always got a very good image. He's always very positive. He's a great guy, a great role model. But there's a couple of situations I'm sure you'll want to be reminded of. You probably can't even remember them, actually, based on the previous analysis. But one particularly memorable event was his 25th birthday party, and he had a lot of friends around. And forget Las Vegas, he was in our flat, and he was went out for a few drinks, came back, and decided that he had to put away 2.5 pints of beer in a skull, in a sort of down in one, as you do. So there he is, proving his manhood. Forget Prince Harry in Vegas. Basically, Phil had his royal moments some 20 years ago. And in a random moment of madness, he decides to kind of strip off and show us all what he's made of.
That's in the other photo.
Yeah. So I'm going to invite you all to judge this for yourself by opening up envelope number 2.